Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry. I think we're ready though. So I'm picking up where I left off last night. The other night. We looked into this Vectorio hidden shapes thing. We tested out a bunch of different scenarios and got a response from Warrior of Wire, whose name I think is Kenny, but I'm not positive. So we got some new code to test. So this is where I'm going to start. After that, see how it goes. Let's close. We'll see how it goes, but after that, I may play around with Blinka Displayio. See if we can figure out why the bitmap labels don't show. So I already have this plugged in. Running the previous version that we made. This was the test code that Warrior of Wire says to try. So we will this. We have well. We do have a circle. We have a rectangle also, but really only using a circle. That's fine. Yeah. We do already have main group. Has very tiny sleeps. Thing. It doesn't have display refreshes, so I assume we need. Oh, I assume we need to put this back to. I need to set it true. I need to set it true and let it run once, otherwise it may not take effect. We also have a label that's not going to get used, but that's fine. I mean, it's going to get shown, but it's not moving. This is specifically moving the circle down. Down and at an angle. It resets back to the top left. What this is doing. Bring that. That's pretty good. USB cable. Turn it. So it does make these things blinky, but that's because we're going hidden true for a little bit. Then back to false. I think blinky is what I expect on stuff that's not moving. Circle is moving. And doing what it's supposed to. Right? It's going down and to the right, but it's well, they're kind of like width and height, although this display is bigger. Make it go there. I think that it resets. For This is still going and it resets Y. Reaches this faster, doing +2 instead of +1. Okay. Makes sense. Isn't the size display it's on. I don't know if that matters. Okay to me. I mean, it is obviously very blinky, but I think this is to be expected when we have auto refresh on and we are hiding and then waiting for this period of time and then hiding and waiting for the same period of time. Too blinky. There's like tearing, but sometimes maybe that's also partially the camera. No. Definitely tearing sometimes, like the circle. It's kind of sliced in half. Such. It does look worse coming through the camera. Not quite the exact same effect it has directly to the eye. But this I think is just normal. I don't think this has anything to do with changes I made to group. I guess we could always try to go back to stock. Oops. See if it looks the same. Oops. Whoa. Um. Oh. This has a different image? Right. So probably the display setup is different. Like, smaller, obviously. But also, I guess, the color order is different? It's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know. That's, I think, not what we wanted to install. Let's start by loading our actual device. That's good to keep in mind. Hold on. This. Oh. Okay. So the shapes don't blink in this one, but this makes sense because when hidden true is on, they don't get hidden. They're still shown. They don't spend any time invisible. The circle is still blinky and still tears. Not blinky, but, you know, it's moving, so, like, it gets a little blinky. And it does still tear the same. But it makes sense these would not be as blinky. Well, the rectangle is not blinky at all, and the circle is not as blinky as it was. And I think that makes sense because we're not actually hiding it this time around, since the release version doesn't have the code that allows this to hide the shapes. I think we see the same thing we expect here, and the elements that are expected to be the same under our other build, which should get open. Under this build, do still look the same. Really see any issue, at least that's visible, like on the screen. So this is the same build from, I think, when we built it. On there. But yeah, now the rectangle is blinky and the circle is blinkier. Although it blinks at a similar frame rate to the camera sometimes, honestly, and it looks a little less blinkier than it is. So I think makes sense. What if we moved farther while it was hidden? So it should make it look like it hops. So when this happens, it's visible. Then hidden true. Wait. Change. What if we change more while hidden is true? So it will take a bigger step while we can't see it, and then loop. Well, yeah, we can't see it, it takes a bigger step, and then we can see it, and then it loops. Takes a step while we can see it, and then hides. Goes way faster. Right, only double. Times 10 will super. It does kind of like junk along a little bit. Back how it was. Well, I don't know. Seems okay to me. We don't have anything weird in the REPL, do we? We don't ever see like two circles at once or anything. I think the camera pauses every now and then. Or I guess possibly the microcontroller runs the garbage collector and then it pauses during that time. Oh, I didn't catch it on the screen. I looked up right before, trying to watch for it to do the pause, but I looked up right before it did. Saw it on the camera screen, not the actual screen. Yeah, I think that's the camera. I don't think it pauses on the screen. Kind of weird. Anyway, you can record it. Probably don't need it to be this big. Just end up with sound in it. So I don't know how it would look if this occurred. It didn't change the area that it was going to refresh. Did it leave parts of itself behind? For exactly what it would do. Seems okay to me though. Okay. I think we're on the right track here. I don't know. Still seems normal to me. The pause is just in the video. Well, that's the end of the video. There's a pause somewhere in the video. Right there. That doesn't really happen on the screen. Okay. We'll see what where Wire's got anything. It'd be great to get this in before or when. Well, I don't know if there's going to be any more changes. I guess before RC becomes the release. First, if we're going to start a new beta for 8 afterwards, anyway, it's going to be pretty quick before it's available on this page, which is the main thing I'm interested in. So I don't think there's an issue for this yet, I guess. Look into why we don't get bitmap labels. We don't get bitmap labels through Blinka Displayio. Maybe I should be testing on the Pi. Pi still running? Let's do this. Sorry, I don't want some of the stuff that will come up from this to show. More. Okay. I have a Raspberry Pi. We could try it out on there. I am kind of assuming that it won't display on there, but I guess this would be good to know. Where we definitely don't see it is here. So this hello world is a label right now, but we make it a bitmap label. What doesn't show? Want to try setting up the Raspberry Pi? A pain because I gotta switch the screen around to find the IP address of it. Into it on this side a bit first. Don't find anything particularly promising, then try it out on the Pi and see if it's broken on there as well. Start with, like, what are the differences? I mean, they both extend label base. I assume scrolling label work. It extends bitmap label. They both extend label base, which means they have the same parent class, which extends group. Yeah. Something like just one has a different parent class and that causes trouble. The main difference is bitmap label has one bitmap object, and then all of the pixels for all the different letters. Bitmap label. Has one bitmap and one tile grid. Water on me. It does set text. Add these itself. So base. Oh no, this isn't base. Base has no bitmap or tile grid. Local group. So this one gets a bitmap for the background that gets filled in, has its own tile grid, and then each letter. Well, this one is base, so this one doesn't have anything by itself, but label this one. It's one bitmap for the background. Create background box. And then each letter gets a tile grid. Call for sure. Background. Text. Yeah. So we're looping over each letter right now, and we're making a tile grid for each one. Then it must get added to local group somewhere. This is removing some things from local group. I missed it. I didn't see where it got added. Must get added somewhere though. Attack? Hmm. There it is. Highlighted? Highlight. Oh. I clicked. No. I think it doesn't use a pen. Oh, it does down here. I see. Okay. Each letter gets its own tile grid. The difference here is we have one bitmap, and we kind of like put each letter into the one bitmap that exists, and it has the background already in it. So there's not multiple tile grids for each letter. Just one bitmap object, one tile grid object. Those go in the local group. Why would that be any different for Displayio though? That does not. Text. Where it kind of like copy pastes each glyph stamp into the yeah, I guess let's try it on the Raspberry Pi. It does. Okay. Wait for this to boot up and then find its IP. It will take the same IP actually would be nice. The other window. Oh. Made it. back, this back. This post in the help channel caught my eye. Their original post, I guess, though. Search later. A lot. Do this. SSFS. I don't remember. And hold on. This. Maybe I made a script for it. Script for it if not. What IPs though? So this uses SSHFS? I don't know, file secure. It uses like SSH to sync files back and forth, basically. Kind of makes SSH connection behave like FTP connection, where you can list all the files and see their names and their dates and their folders and stuff. And then this allows it to show up on my computer like a normal directory that I can just go into ls and like do stuff inside of here. These files now kind of pretend to exist on my computer, which is actually pretty convenient because we can also open them in PyCharm. So these files are on the Raspberry Pi, but we can open them and like do stuff to them from inside of here. You need to go to amount. It's a little slow because it's like it has to transfer over Wi-Fi, in this case, all the files and stuff. So like, not super quick. Hey. Go here. Oh. Wait, what? This didn't work. Or, well, no, this is just Git. Actually not exist? Doesn't seem like there's anything in there. So obviously I have a lot of these. Guess let's go then different one. update this. Pull it. It rest of the way. Okay. Yeah, so we can run like this, I think. Well, so we need a SSH. We want to run it on this device. Go. New module. I think I probably haven't even run this on this Pi since this got broken out into its own library. I will pull the Pi over here. I think it's close enough to the camera. Really in here. Bump the just a little bit. End up here. Okay, we got typing now. Run this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's upside down. Just not in the orientation it was when I did this before. Realistically, we could just change it in here, right? 180. Run it again. Oop. Stop it and then run it again. Oh. That's interesting. Oh, maybe we should have done rotation here? Matter? Do anything different? Right, doesn't rerun. Interesting. The, The property does not take the same effect as the constructor. This is fine though. I don't have a need to change it live, so like the constructor is fine for what I need. So this works. Is just label, and I guess may still work on this one. May not be invisible. This is an old version. Nope, it's totally invisible here too. Okay. We do have the same problem. So now what on earth could be the problem? Here. So let's back this off a bit. let's get rid of some things we don't need, like this and this. Yeah, start like that. Rare scale 3. Check if scale matters. All right. Okay. A blank screen, no text. If we change to label, then we get text. Yellow, I guess, yeah. Let's try no scale, see if scale factors in here at all. Take it out. In this case, the group was scaled, not the text itself. Will be very tiny. Works fine like this. So unfortunately, I don't have much of a lead here, so I am kind of just poking in the dark a bit. Literally, in this, right, we have a dark screen. Scale doesn't seem to matter. So tile grid. See where its pixels. I mean, the only thing I know to do is like try to find where it gives its pixels to the display. Like print them out. If this or what's going on? Area onto the image. Promising. Okay, yeah. So this is creating a PIL image. Looping over tiles in the width, over tiles in the height. It's a palette. Coloring stuff. For coloring stuff, add alpha. Color converter. Anything right now. Alpha composite. I think this is combining two images together. Like whatever image is stored in here, combining together with whatever image is stored in here. At this location from one and this location from the other. So could hijack this, I think, right? Because we could kind of use the fact that these are PIL images. I could just call save the file name and it will show up as an image. See if they contain the right stuff. This is any to start. Make a directory for them. So let's let all this happen, and then right before we put it inside image, let's go tile image. And maybe hopefully just go like XY or something. This will make one for each tile, but if we run it again, it would overwrite the old ones. I don't know, is it going to be a... I don't know what it's going to be. Bitmap, I guess, probably, huh? Man. Let's go to label first. Not the right file for doing that. Should go that way. Okay. Another SSH. Only one. $5K. Oh, that's what I expected, but okay. That's the font. I like the whole font. We should look at it. Or... well, okay. Tile image is like the source of the tile grid. Image. But then if we save image before we do this, it doesn't matter. So I guess let's save it after we do this. Of course, we only looped once in this case anyway. Try it. Well, hell, we can do once before and once after. Or after. The refresh is not working? Okay. Did I not run it? Maybe I didn't run it. They're much smaller. That is the exclamation point. After. Before is empty. So this is getting called for each letter in our label. But only 0, 0. Area. Buffer. We not get one for each letter. So I guess this is where it actually adds thing. This. And we should get a timestamp which hopefully will change low enough that we get one for each of the letters. I should have done the same. But it'll be the same for both before and after. Basically, all befores are blank. All afters have the letters. They in kind of a so they're doubled up, at least. Tripled up? Continuing to make more? Okay. Stop this. Oh my. Oh my. Oops. How much? Wow. How much do you think we just made? What are these each? Wow. Well, this will tell me. 109K. 896 items. Minus 3. 893. Okay. So that gets called over and over. So, don't do that, I guess. Terminal to delete these. Okay. So let's stop it much faster. And then let's not let it run very long for one thing, most important. And then let's switch to bitmap label and see if we see the letters in the afters. Yeah, afters. The befores were blank. The afters had the letter. If we see that. I'm gonna like stop it right after it starts. I'm not gonna let it run very long. We got quite a few though. Oh, okay, interesting. So they had letters in them for a while. Must have doubled up some. The same name and therefore they overwrote. Where did these come from? So this one I assume is like, oh, it's 0 bytes. I assume it's formed. But is this after I control C? After it started stopping? Or was this because it showed it? Like if I run it again, will these be gone? Was this like after effect from the previous one? Hmm. It must have made some now because PyCharm popped that up. They are. They're all blank. Also bigger. Makes sense because they're the full label size rather than each letter size. Yeah. That's the full label. Rectangle that surrounds hello world exclamation point. So it's not in here. Okay. Not in here. Tile image. So before this was the whole font basically. this wouldn't pop up for these files. I guess I could put it in git ignore. Pop up that time. There was the one time it didn't. Only made some this. They're different though. These say before, after. They're not new one. Have tile and then there. Weird. Like it gets a few from the last time it ran or something. Oh. Need that time. Well, I guess this time it's only stop it. Okay, well there's your problem. Although this is the full size, 36 by 24. It was the font before. Maybe we should try it before this conversion happens. Like this is where we get it too, from bitmap image. Same. Oops, that's not what we wanted. Hopefully that will make it stop popping that up. Maybe it just takes it a little extra time. Maybe that's why those ones when it didn't seem like it ran. Oh, this one's oh, it's 0 bytes. Well, I guess because it's continually rewriting. It is visible. That is weird. I think let's let it run. Stop it. Then try to look at it. I think it might have been still changing. Dark now. It would be so dark. Well, okay, so the color conversion didn't happen. This is here, it's after this stuff. This is bigger size too. Yeah. So this is much bigger than the label. The other one we were getting it sized, I think the size of the label. Or however much room it takes to put hello world exclamation point. But here we're getting it sized all the way big enough for the whole font. So I don't know exactly what that means. Why it would be different? But I suspect if we dig enough to find out why that's different, we will probably either find the next weird thing that points us towards figuring it out, or we'll find what's broken, or at least what's causing it not to work. This one, yeah, is small now, 3.5K. Empty. It's not empty, it's like, it's black. 36 by 24, which is the size of the label. I have a map. So if we do it before, what if we, okay, let's go back to before. Do we get that faint one this way? Or do we get just the same empty one at 36 by 24? 1.9. It's 36 by 24, but it is smaller. As if it has a different color profile or whatever. Nothing in it. Color map. Heard that it's smaller, but in file size. It kind of, I mean, hurting it, it makes, I guess maybe go into alpha. Exactly what this is. So I mean, this is definitely related to our problem. I still don't know really what our problem is, but with bitmaplabel, this is blank, not a font. So we're just copying chunks of blank into our image. Definitely strange, though. So I will say the good news is that it seems to do the same thing on the Pi as it does on Pygame display on the PC. So probably I'll go back to just messing with it on for a while I pick through the code, figure out what's going on. But I probably am not gonna make progress today, truth. Curious if we make this pink. See the background? I guess kind of makes sense. If the crux of our problem is that tile image doesn't have the font in it, then this makes sense because we're just copying blank out of the font into our bitmap here. The mechanism for drawing the background isn't having trouble. Okay. So something about the way that it like loads the font onto tile image behaving differently between the two labels, and that is causing it not to work. I do wonder, didn't actually update this to begin. '21. Been broken at least since then. That property. That's what broke it. Broke it. Bitmap property. Maybe something else does something with the bitmap property because we added it there. Now grabbing a thing that it's not really expecting to and doing something with it instead of like making its own, maybe. See if 220 does it. Go actually up. If we could narrow it down to this, that would be nice. Then I could at least have enough to like make a version. Right now I'm hesitant to make the issue because I know so little about the problem. Flash? Broken. That didn't break it. Yeah, before that. Move max size. Did that successfully install? Yeah. Oh. One didn't. Oh. That's a different name, I think. I probably messed that up when I put the name in. Like I made this really. I'll like run something else in between. Still broken there. Back to here. Try a few more. I'm probably gonna head out here pretty quick. Direction. Directional label. There. Oh, well. Yeah, working for a different reason. We can't really go back any further unless we also roll back Blinka Displayio. Okay. Well, yeah. I think I'll wait until I gotta learn quick. I feel like we have kind of a thread to follow though. The way that our tile image is not the font. We just like chase back where this comes from and why it's different. I think we'll find hopefully the next clue. But that'll have to be for another time, I think. I'm gonna head out for now. So thanks for watching. If whoever's out there watching, I'll be back still probably Friday for deep dive in some capacity, and then Saturday morning 10 a.m. Central Time for my normal stream. So you can catch me then, or you can follow me on Twitch or something if you want to get notified if I stream in the evenings like this one. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching, and hope everybody has a good night. One of these ones. Hey guys, is that what that is? Yeah. All right.